Heather, thank you so much for coming to California and visiting me here at my wild kingdom.
I love it. It's awesome.
I get to babysit this amazing animal, and I'm so proud to share him with you. So I have some questions about spearfishing. What attracted you to spearfishing?
I love hunting. I love like going under the water and just feeling free underneath the water and just the silence of it. And I just like loved like going after the fish and knowing that when I bring that fish to my table, there's like no hormones in it, there's no GMOs, it's like fresh, and I don't have to worry about like catching other things like bycatch. I can know that what I'm going to bring from the ocean is coming straight to my table for my family and for my friends.
Absolutely. That's what I enjoy most about spearfishing is not only is it like a lifestyle, but it's the best when you bring home that fresh fish meal and you're sharing it with your friends. Yeah. The story of landing it, the laughter, and it literally is like that butterfly that takes you for months on end of excitement. Exactly. And it drives you to the next trip. Yeah. I have another question, and that would be, how long have you been spearfishing?
I've been spearfishing for about 7 years, but I took about 3 years off. So 7 minus 3 is 4.
Nice.
Around, it was like around.
Guess
it was
what?
like I just got like really into it the last like 2 years.
Yeah, I don't think that gap means anything, because once you start, it always, your lungs are like warmed up, prepared, and they are, you're already kind of preconditioned. Yeah. So it's like everybody takes a little break here and there. Trust me, some of the best do take breaks, years off, and then come back.
Right.
So I think it's okay, and it gives you more appreciation for the sport.
Right. Yeah. I totally took a small break. Just because awesome. I felt like I didn't have people to dive with, and I was like, trying to find other people to dive with, and then like Instagram actually helped me find other divers.
Yeah.
And then doing the level 1 course that I did actually helped me be more confident in the sport and actually meet other divers in the area where I live. So
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that gives you more appreciation too for what your goal is in life when you're in the water. It's like, I want to go for that prize fish, or I want to bring home dinner, and it kind of puts you in check, because a lot of times people get into the sport and they'll invest all this money and then they fall out of it, but they kind of get drawn back to it, because it is a personal thing. It's a personal like love of the ocean.
Right.
And every day is never a dull moment.
Right, exactly.
Right? Cool.
It's never dull, that's for sure.
I know. And the people you meet along the way, I think it's amazing.
Some of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life, honestly.
From when I was spearfishing, when I was a little girl, like, there weren't a lot of women diving. It was very few between, and I was very intimidated by half the men that would make me feel like not worthy, or I couldn't hold my own, and I really just kind of put all that behind me, and I had that feeling like, just brush it off my shoulder. If I heard negativity, I didn't let it bother me. I didn't let it break me down.
Yeah, you can't let it break you down, for sure.
He's gonna go in the cage, so we'll be back.
Oh, he's cool though. I like him. He's so pretty.
I know. Let's see if he can, like, you wanna hang right here? There you go. Hey, it's okay. Stay right there. So, we have more questions. One bit of dive gear you couldn't live without, or is your favorite piece of gear?
Well, that'd be my Riffe spear gun.
Good question. Good answer.
Yeah, no, definitely my spear gun would be number 1. My fins, I like having my fins because it's easier to go down. I would say number 1 would be the spear gun.
Do you ever find that
number 2 would be the
when
fins.
You travel, because you have traveled the world,
mm-hmm.
When you pack your dive gear, what do you bring 2 of?
mask. I always bring 2 masks. Sometimes I bring 2 knives, 2 snorkels for sure. I always bring like extra flashers. I don't know why I love flashers.
You gotta have that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Booties, like fin booties. Sometimes I bring 2 of those. Gloves. I always bring like 2 gloves, even though I don't wear them because you can see I have a tuna mark here.
Oh yes, that's awesome.
Maybe.
The battle wounds.
Yeah, I don't know why. I like wear 1 glove and sometimes I don't wear one because I just feel like it's easier to shoot the gun whenever I don't have one on this hand. But then you have all these marks, so
yeah, I know. And the gill plates always get me, or the spine stabbed through the gloves. You
always get those little love marks, you know what I mean?
Or the swollen knuckle, like it's always a swollen knuckle.
It's always something when you're spearfishing. I mean, it is a crazy sport.
Yeah. So, what is your favorite fish to chase?
Tuna. Definitely tuna.
Tunas are pretty wild.
They're so fast and unpredictable, and it's just the thrill of catching one. It's just, they're so majestic. They're just beautiful fish. And
I find wahoo are pretty wild because they're so narrow and slender, but they're such cruisers too. They like to check you out. It's like they want to come and look at you when you're not looking at them. So you kind of have to like, I see you, but I don't.
Right.
And then
I feel like yellowtail are like that with
exactly.
me. They just want to come up and check me out.
It's like amberjack. Like those fish are very, very curious.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll give you like a 1-2 look, and then they're like out.
Right. Because you got that opportunity like right there. Like, I want to take it or not.
Have you? What's the fish that pisses you off the most? Huh?
Well, actually, it has to be the mahi because I've never caught one, but I did see one in Costa Rica, and it literally, my friends like it darts, like they're sporadic, they just dart. And I was like, what do you mean? And then when I was in Costa Rica, I saw that. Like, there was one, like, darting, like, right in front of my face. I went to go shoot it. By the time I shot it, was gone. And just like that would be...
They can be similar to the yellowtail and all that, like cruise, but I see that personality in them. I have this connection with the mahis.
Well, fish have personalities for sure.
For sure. But, you know, the snapper and the grouper, sometimes, if it's an area where they're very, like, hunted, it's kind of challenging because they're smart and they've seen a few divers, and those kind of piss me off.
Yeah. They get smarter. They're like, I'm going to go try to hide.
But it's such a prize fish when you do land a grouper, snapper, or cubera, like those guys.
Big one too. I haven't got a cubera yet. I want to get a cubera so bad.
I shot a 65-pounder in Panama.
What?
That thing was a beast.
Wow.
And he beat me up. When I brought that fish up, my buddies were like, oh, and I hated it because they were taking video of me, and I kept trying to like hold the fish, and my friend of mine, Wendell Sasso, he's a good friend, he's a great spearfisherman, he makes movies, or did, a ways back, but they kept lifting the tail, and I'm like trying to hold the fish, and the mouth of the fish was like dripping blood down my shirt, and I'm like posing with this fish, and it's like this bloodbath just going down the center of my chest and like going down my body. I'm like, this is so not attractive, but
that's impressive though. 65-pounder.
It was a big fish. It really was, and I was so stoked.
And you did that. Did you have a slip tip, or was it just like a regular
slip tip? Oh yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah. Cool. I used my island.
Did you do a second shot on there?
No. It was a one shot
under.
And he beat me up.
I bet.
But it was fun.
Big fish.
I already asked you that. Could you share your best experience while diving?
My best experience is like, honestly, when you have a good dive buddy beside you, like whenever you know that when you're down there you have someone you can trust that's on the surface looking out for you. Because then you feel more comfortable, you feel like you can hold your breath longer, you feel like wow, you're so amazing. You just like, you feel more comfortable in the water because you know there's someone looking out for you. So totally. I just love having like a really good solid dive buddy to be there watching my back.
100%. So. I think that's really important because what brings the best out of you as a diver is diving with someone who's maybe had a little more experience, or that like a little bit deeper than you, because you have that confidence of that person can save my life.
Yeah.
Or it gives you the courage to kind of push yourself, and that's what's so important about the free dive classes. Like, I can't emphasize that. And I've taken 4 free dive classes.
Oh, that's good.
But taking those classes gives you that strength, that confidence in who you are in the water, and knowing that you can recognize your boundaries. I mean, honestly, it can be you partied too hard, you stayed up too late, and you were diving, and you can overexert yourself. Like, you don't realize it, but you'll be diving hard, and you're like, oh shit, and that puts yourself in danger. But knowing that you got somebody who you can trust, and knowing your ability and where you're at, allows you to kind of push yourself to test your limits safely, and it just betters you. Like, even lobster diving, I always find it betters your breath hold and your endurance and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. I like that.
I feel like, honestly, like, I got better by hanging out with people that were better than me in the sport, like, because it helps you grow. But yeah, it's definitely important to have someone there watching your back.
And every fish is always a new experience. So even if it's the smallest fish or the biggest fish, or beginner's luck, like, it always gives you like that one step forward of the adrenaline, which is key, and that's the drive that makes us go again. But having the that safety feeling, like you've got a good dive partner beside you, for sure.
Totally.
So that's awesome. I hope my phone doesn't run out. What is your favorite seafood dish?
I love surf and turf. I love lobster. Don't get me wrong. I love hogfish. In Florida, hogfish is a big thing.
Amazing.
They call that like the piggies of the sea. So, yeah, those are really good too. But now I got tuna. So tuna's gonna be up there for sure because I love sashimi. So
what other fish from Florida is like really besides hogfish?
Snappers are really good. Jacks, hogfish, obviously. Yeah, I think cobia? Snappers. Cobia? Well, I have never got a cobia either.
But have you eaten it? Is
no,
it like
I haven't. I've never eaten the cobia either.
I know. It's all so good. Honestly, it's like when you go to a restaurant and they serve fish, half the time you're like, I don't think they taste like the real thing. It doesn't taste like the real thing.